In this video, we are going to continue line 56, part B, on the flute, and we're going to start right now. So focusing on line B, we have our treble clef, followed by our key signature, which has two flats. This first one on the third line tells us that all B's are flat. The second one on the fourth space tells us all E's are flat. Then we have our time signature. We are in 4/4 time. The top number tells us how many beats are in each measure. The bottom number tells us the value of the whole note. So if we had a whole note, it would get 4 beats. Half of a whole is a half, and half of 4 is 2. So now we know that the half notes get 2 beats. Then half of a half is a quarter, half of 2 is 1. So now we know that the quarter notes get 1 beat. Then half of a quarter is an eighth, and half of 1 is half. It's not 0 and it's not 1, but it's half. So now these eighth notes that will come in pairs and sometimes in groups of 4, each individual one is worth half of a beat. It takes 2 of them to make 1 beat in 4/4 time, which is the equivalent of a quarter note. So there are 4 lines to this, and focusing on line B, I'm going to start on the first one. I'm going to walk you through it, and then I will play the line that I just go over. So we start with a quarter note F, so that's going to be thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1 and pinky. And then I have an eighth note F to an eighth note E flat, so I'm going to put down these 2 fingers and lift my index finger. Then we go to 2 quarter note Ds, so I just lifted the pinky. In the next measure, I go back to E flat, so I'm just going to put my pinky back down and then back up to the F. Then in measure 3, we have 3 Fs, and then we switch to the D, so I'm going to put down these 2, lift and lift. Then in the fourth measure, we have 2 quarter note E flats and on a half note F. So this is not the melody, but it's going to be a harmony part. And this is the first line B. 1, 2, and ready. So that's the first line B. We're going to scroll down to the second line B, and hopefully you'll recognize that it's exactly like what the first line B was. So I'm not going to play it again. Instead, we're going to scroll down to the next page, and then the third line B is different. So now we have all Fs. Thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1 and pinky. And it's the rhythm that makes it interesting. So we have 2 quarter notes, then we have a group of 4 eighth notes, 2 quarters and a half, and then that pattern repeats itself. So this third line B is going to sound like this. 1, 2, ready. And it's still important to give your notes their full value, especially the longer notes like half notes that tend to get cheated and cut short. So finally, we have our fourth line B, which is exactly like the first 2 line Bs. So if we're going to think about in terms of form, never mind that we're playing line B, when we're talking about form, we take the first idea that we come across and call that the A section. So the first 2 lines were identical to each other, so that would be AA. The third line is different, so we would call that the B section. And then the fourth line is just like the first 2, we would call that A again. So your form is AABA. And we are focusing on the B section. the B line, not the B section. And what I am going to do because I am not fancy and I don't have the technology to scroll around while I'm playing, I am going to start here on this last line B because it's the same as the first two, and I'm going to play it twice. Then I'm going to pop up here and play this line B with all of the Fs, and then I'm going to come back down to the bottom line again and play it one last time because that is our form. So I have a metronome ready to go at 92 beats per minute. It's a little faster than what I demonstrated on, but I hope you're able to play along with me, and maybe at some point you can play one of the other lines and we can make it a duet. But this is line B of line 56. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. And that is it for line 56, line B. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you for the next one.